computer. So you're in spiritual business. You've launched your career as a professional psychic or healer, and now you need to get the right message in front of the right people so that your business can flourish. And what else would you want to be doing but listening to this conversation with Kylie? I'm your host, Kylie Savage Psychic, because today I have the lovely Lily Rudolph, and Lily is a marketing and mindset mentor with her business, Align Marketing. And we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to unpack marketing for people who are in their startup phase of their business. And you've got questions. So we're going to get some answers, and we're going to make sure you have some great takeaways today, and you'll know exactly how you can find Lily and work with her. And because we want your business to succeed, and marketing is a huge part of that. So welcome, Lily. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Kylie. It's so wonderful to be here and chat with you today.
Excellent. Let's just say, like, on a wet, cold Sydney afternoon, like, what else would we want to be doing? We're definitely filling in the time. Okay, Lily, so I would really love for you to tell myself and my audience more about you, the work that you do, and your business, Align Marketing.
Thank you, Kylie. So first and foremost, I am a wife and a mum to 3 gorgeous souls. And so they're actually part of my work journey, I would say. You know, I live in Australia, and I moved over and started my career in marketing in the corporate world. I really loved the actual work that I was doing, but I didn't love the environment as many others don't. I did not enjoy the politics of it, and I just really got to a place where I felt like I was a cog in the wheel, and there wasn't much value to me being at my desk every day. So once I started a family, I realized that I wanted to do something more meaningful, and I wanted to be more available to my kids. So this led me through a few twists and turns in terms of looking at other options for myself. And finally, I got to a place where I really sat down and looked at what my values were, what my skills were, and what my history was. And Align Marketing was born from that. So I really do love deep connection. It's important for me to be able to make a difference in my work. And Align Marketing has helped me to use all my skills, which we don't often get to do in corporate. So my interpersonal skills, my creative skills, and to really make a meaningful difference in the world. I believe, I love small business. I love how many women particularly are moving into the space. And when I help my clients, I see the ripple effect. So I'm not only helping them, I'm helping their families, I'm helping their children, and I'm helping their clients. So it's a very fulfilling space for me to be. And now I get to, help others find their voice, own their magic, and run a business that they love, that lights them up, and that helps them to attract their dream clients and make the most impact in their worlds. So, I guide my clients to be their authentic selves and to work with their dream clients and to really articulate what they do so it becomes obvious for their clients as well. So, yeah, together we rise, and it's just a privilege to be doing this work.
I love that. The warmth really comes through. I really feel like the care is there, and that's what we need, for women in business, especially startup business, because marketing is going to be a journey which has to go with you your whole business journey. And for some people, they might be sitting at home out there, and they haven't fully adopted that business mantle yet. And I feel like helping them find their authentic voice, that is part, that's what the gift that marketing can give to them. It's like helping them to, step into that business identity and work out what they're doing, why they're doing it. And I mean, you clearly articulated that why you've built this business, and who you can help. I did say that too. I said, I wrote it down and forgot to say that. So when you're not helping us with your marketing, you're running around with your kids and taking strolls on the beach and in the bush. I love
Yeah.
that. And we definitely need that, that time in nature to decompress.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I found it
And
quite critical. Yeah.
yeah, and to inspire us. Okay, so there are probably many of us in spiritual business. As you said, we arrive in business and we want to be professional, healers, psychics, and so on. But we have no idea about marketing. And this was very much me. No idea about marketing and sales. So what's the difference between marketing and sales? And is marketing what we would have called advertising?
So advertising is just one component of marketing. In a larger organization, marketing and sales are a lot more clearly demarcated. But when we are running our own businesses, we do really need to wear both hats. So I'll just go through a little bit more of a definition, if you like, of what each component is, what it does, and how and why those can work and should work together for you. And, so the marketing component is really more of a one-to-many type of activity. It builds brand awareness. It helps people get to know that you exist. It helps people get to know what you're about. And it includes things like, as you said, advertising, if you want to go down that route. It includes things like social media. It includes, collaboration. So really, we've got, like, the traditional thing is you have the 4 Ps of marketing. And those are basically your product, your price, your place. So where are you going to market your services? And promotion. So the promotion is, again, how are you going to market? What are you going to offer? Where are you going to do that? So those are typically the sort of high level activities. And it's very much more of a brand awareness type exercise. As I said before, it's letting people into your world. What do you stand for? What can you offer them? And it goes really all the way through and would include, kind of post-sale stuff, almost like the full client experience and how you nurture them before they're a client, while they're a client, and after they're a client. So, I had one example for your industries. If people are doing readings and those sorts of things, that is something that could be part of your marketing, getting people to know you better, showcasing your wares. Sales, on the other hand, so your marketing will be the support for your sales. So your sales becomes a lot easier. The sales is more one-to-one. It's more transactional from a business sense. And it's also the point where once you've connected with your audience and you've brought them in and they're more interested, you now have that one-on-one discussion where you can more specifically explain to them what you do, how it benefits them particularly, have them look at what their exact needs are, and then you can match them up with a particular solution. And this is where you hear people go, selling is service, right? And some people feel very salesy because I think sales is like pushing yourself onto somebody. But really, beautiful sales is when you've been able to attract those people, what I call your dream clients. And now you're able to have a personal discussion with them where you can guide them into the best solutions for them. And you can explain to them how your particular offerings will help them to get to where they want to go. And so, if you just want to go the sales component and put it in a box, is things, you might have a sales call with somebody, you might put together a proposal for them, which is probably less in your area. show them what the options are. And then, you know, it's things like having follow-up systems and all of those sorts of things. So those are the high level, if you're going to put them each in a box. They really, really work together, because once, as I said, you've got your marketing, which is increasing your know, like, and trust factor. I'm sure many people have heard that. Then you get into the sales call, and you can use all that information that you gather in your sales conversations, be they that somebody signed up or not, to feed back into your messaging. So if somebody didn't sign up, understanding why they didn't. If somebody is excited to go ahead, use those kind of conversations and conversation pieces, knowing, well, this is what your clients need to know, and feeding that back into your marketing activities. So it's a little bit of a loop. And as you said, if nobody knows you're open for business, if you don't market yourself and tell people, then we're not going to bring any clients in.
Absolutely. Well, that makes it a lot clearer. Thanks for that. I think, you know, I grew up kind of in a older generation where it was all about sales, and marketing still, I know, to a lot of people can be sort of a more modern concept. But you're right. I mean, we have heard about being your brand, and, you know, being on brand and off brand and all the rest. So it's definitely, you know, all these marketing messages and information are trickling through. But I think it's really important to have those conversations with a marketing person to understand it further, because marketing is such a big thing, isn't it? You've got to find the right type of marketing for you.
Exactly right. So marketing is huge, as you say. And I think a lot of the time it's very scary for people who come into their own businesses, especially women and especially service providers, because one, it's scary, and you have marketing people throwing out all these terms like your leads, your funnel, your brand, and you're like, whoa, what is that? You know, so you have all of that. And then you also have the other side, which you start to feel out of your comfort zone. You, particularly in Australia, there's like tall poppy syndrome. So people are scared to say, I'm amazing, join me. They, you know, haven't yet got, they haven't seen or got their heads around the subtle differences between sort of, you know, little things like your benefits versus your, I've lost the word. I've lost the word. But you know, there's a lot in there, and that's why, you know, I also bring the mindset work into my business, because I think that we come in, we get scared, it feels too much, and we think we can't do it, but you really, really can. And it's just, you know, just to talk to the branding as well. And being professional, we spoke about that as well. I think it really is delving down so that we can become authentic. We can become who we are, and amalgamate our personal side with our business side, so people really know who they're working with. And I know, you know, when I came out of corporate, that's a very kind of professional kind of a space. And suddenly, you know, if anyone knew I was working from home, it was a bit, and, you know, if they knew that the kids were around, and it really held me back. And I think now people are a lot more forgiving of that. And, you know, embrace your story. People are looking for real people.
Absolutely. And I've seen that thing coming through. And post-pandemic, thanks COVID, where, you know, we've even got high level news people, you know, being interrupted by children. We love that now, you know, and you can, I know I teach some of my classes in my dressing gown, and one of my famous astrologers does it in their dressing gown. And I'm like, well, if he can do it. And I think that you're right. Like, marketing doesn't have to be daunting. And the other thing is, we are always marketing, like we're manifesting, and like we're doing everything. So we want to be sure that we're getting the right message out there, especially for psychics. Now we're in our industry is in such a vulnerable state at the moment. We've got to stand apart as professionals. Okay, so I want to ask you too, okay, what are some of the challenges, and I think we've talked a little bit about that, women in spiritual business face when it comes to marketing, and what's some action they can take to address that. I think you're so right when you say, culturally, Australians, we don't taught not to be spruikers. We've definitely got that tall poppy syndrome, and that's changing. But I think that, putting yourself out in front, taking nice selfies, stuff like that, we're really a little bit slow off the mark when it comes to self-promotion and being visible. And marketing is asking that of us. And there's also this tilt towards oversharing and losing our professional boundaries. So I think that's something that we really need to be mindful of. Sorry, what did I say? What are
We're
some
talking
of the
about the main
challenges?
challenges.
Yeah, the challenges that we face. I think,
it-
like you said, that overcoming those fears and things like that.
Yes, so definitely from a personal perspective is just helping you to see beyond, to see that you do have the skills.
Yes.
And to kind of back yourself, and to give yourself permission to be human, which are a lot of things that we've already discussed. I think from a marketing perspective, if we go purely marketing kind of messaging, a few of the bigger, I'll cover three, but a few of the biggest things is not being specific enough in what you're speaking about. So this are things like, I help you to live your best life, for example, is one you see a lot. Now, what does it actually mean? It doesn't actually mean anything to anyone specifically. We all want to be living our best lives. So you really do need to be more specific about, what you do, who you help. You need to stop the scroll. So, for example, again, living your best life means so many things to different people. Living your best life might be that your kids are finally sleeping. Living your best life might be that you've lost 30 kilograms and you're running that marathon you always dreamed of. Living your best life could be you've now found your soulmate. So it's really getting more specific on how and what the best life is that you are helping to facilitate. Another big thing is talking about the how and less about the what. So what I mean by that is talking more about the modality than the transformation.
Yes.
Right.
I see that a lot. That's big in our industry.
And it is important ultimately that people know what they're going to do with you. But, whether exactly how it works, if you're doing tarot or whatever other tools you're using and how many calls you get is kind of the last little thing that your clients need to know. First, they need to know is how are you going to help them to move from where they are today to where it is that they ascribe to be.
Yeah.
So an example of that could be that you're helping people to go from guessing their every step and not being able to make decisions to a place where they really understand each other. You've helped them build their intuition and they're learning to trust themselves so they can, feel connected to the essence and learn to control their life.
Hang on, I'm just going to take notes because I like that for me. That's on point. I love that.
Lucky we recorded.
You're so right, because sometimes the first point of contact somebody has with a psychic is like reading their poster in the shop window, and it will have a list of modalities, and people are like, I don't know what angel Reiki is, and I don't really care. I just feel like crap. Can you help me feel better? Like, and they said they want to know if you're going to be sticking needles in them or getting them to do funny monkey dances or drinking cacao, but they don't necessarily want to know all the rest of it. They just, if you're qualified, that's going to come through as well.
And I think you've really beautifully led me into the last point that I wanted to make is that when you don't understand where your clients are, it's very important to understand where your clients are on their journey. Because if you don't, and you don't get specific on who your dream clients are and where they are in their journey, it can result in you spending a lot of time on clients who are just curious because this is, fascinating to them. You can end up trying to convince people that you're not just woo.
Yeah.
And this all leads to burnout and doubting yourself. You really want to be spending your time and energy and attracting those people that are already interested in your world. They already have some level of understanding that this is valuable, and they're kind of ready to take action. And by taking into account some of the things we've already discussed, you can start to meet them where they're at, and to have the right people come into your world, and then they can much more easily see where you're going. Because if you're just trying to convince people, or if you're wasting time with tire kickers, are you familiar with that word?
Yes.
It's just going to lead to burnout, and also doubting yourself. Can I really do this? Can I ever do this? Everybody else can do it, but not me. And usually that is because there's some of those elements that you haven't really connected with.
Excellent. You're right too. Like when you do meet your clients, and like I've been in this industry for about 20 years now, and it's like you can tell the difference between someone who's ready, ready to work with you, and ready to book your services and things like that. And they're the ones who really tend to benefit from your work the most. And they're the ones that then go out and tell everyone, how great the work was, and tell all their friends, and they can't promote you enough. But that is so validating, because it's like, you're getting that feedback, and you're seeing, your work make a positive difference in that person's life. And it's a massive confidence boost. I think there's no teacher quite like experience, but having great experiences really does keep the motivation up and the inspiration up to keep working. Okay, so when someone does come and work with you, what kind of marketing would you encourage them to do, or would you do with them? And what kind of experience or transformation are you working with them to achieve?
So if you didn't notice already, I believe in doing it your way. I don't think that there is a one size fits all, and there are many, many ways to market a business. So it really is very much about finding a way that aligns with you as the business owner, that's going to serve you, and of course works for your dream clients as well. So, I really believe that you need to start with the fundamentals in marketing. A lot of people start their business and they go into Facebook ads, or they put up a website, and they do all that's kind of above the marketing speak, that's above the line stuff, but they haven't yet got the fundamentals right. So if you haven't chosen your most aligned niche, so these are the fundamentals you need, and these are the fundamentals that really help my clients to solidify a niche they love, which is why I call it a dream client. Create messaging that speaks to those clients, that they can see themselves in. Articulate the value that the transformation you bring, how it helps them, and what they're also seeking. And then to create the solutions that really facilitate them moving from where they are today to where they aspire to be. So I like to say that I help my clients go from marketing mayhem to marketing mastery. And
I love it.
It's really about helping them to get clear on these fundamentals, so that they feel confident and even excited to market their business and to make their offers and talk about all that they can do for you. So my zone of genius is really holding a safe space and seeing behind the words of my clients. Sometimes they can't really articulate it, and I just help them to articulate who they are, what they do, and for whom, which is, in a nutshell, what you need to be able to do. And sometimes it can be very difficult. As you said, we're very close to these things. We often, particularly in the early stages, try to help everybody.
Yes.
And it's very easy to kind of get stuck, as we said, in the modality versus the transformation. And we've just got to find a way to get out of any of our own ickiness. And I really I like to think of myself as a mirror, as a cheerleader, as a teacher and guide, and an accountability partner. So it's helping my clients find a way that feels aligned with them, but not allowing them to stay in their comfort zone only. So, it's really taking them from frustration and confused to empowered and excited to share and market their business.
Oh, I love that. And I can hear like challenging people about giving them, the confidence in themselves. So, to go and test things out and then be able to come back to you and do the nuts and bolts. It's so important, because I found that too, like the business of the journey of being in solo business is that it can just be so lonely and frustrating. And when you hit the bumps, it's so easy to avoid, go to avoid and escape mode and think, oh, well, I'll just, I won't put that offer out there, or I won't call myself that, or I won't put myself up for that, event or whatever. But when you have somebody, when you have the right people supporting you, it makes such a big difference.
Absolutely.
And I think the piece is the expertise. Like,
Yes.
you know what you're talking about, and you're right, because the thing that I found really challenging with marketing is getting into the view of my client, like putting myself in their shoes, because I tend to just see everything from my own angle. I am an Aries though, so we do that. But that's something that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about, oh, what does my client want? And, what does my dream client want? What are they looking for? And, what problems do I solve, and all the rest? And how can I speak to them? Because I've had that experience of when you do put an offer out that's well crafted and well matched, and that instant response. And that felt really good. So yeah, it's finding out those things, how that all works, and then repeat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Refine, repeat.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And that's the thing, is working with somebody really gives you that perspective that you may not thought about. And a lot of the time, we get stuck in the shiny object syndrome. We get stuck in the shoulds. We get stuck in all these things. And then, even if you buy a course, which I think many of us have done, a self-study or something, and you're filling all the templates, at the end of that, you sit and go, but is this right? Everybody wants to get it right. And myself included, I've been there as well, and my whole thing is there's no right way. You've got to really embrace who you are, who your clients are, what kind of strategies feel good for you. And then, as you say, tweak, play with it, see what works and what doesn't.
Definitely experiment, because that's the thing I've noticed over time, is that the marketing that's advertised, with the gurus, it's like, well, everybody go do this, and it's a cookie cutter experience, and it's like, well, if it didn't work out, like diets, there must be something wrong with you.
Yes, and
yet it's like, what if it's just was not exactly the right approach for you?
Exactly.
Or it needed to be modified. And I think with social media and everything out there, as you said, we all want to follow trends. Do this, and I just keep seeing it's like fish in a pond. It's like, we've got to be over here, and then we don't build consistency. We don't have time, to practice that thing. Well, this has been great, and I enjoyed your dream client meditation. I found, even just in the first listening to it, I got that much clearer on who my dream client would be.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the conversations that we've had, and your Facebook group, which is
the Aligned Marketing Hub. So
that's right.
Join us in there for some more marketing insights and amazing women to share the journey with.
Yes, that's been great. I really like the hashtags, the organization, and it all looks so pretty. And it's sort of it's getting my mind round to marketing more, and thinking about, okay, what am I doing? How am I doing it? Who am I doing it with? That sort of thing. All right. So if people would like to work with you, what's the best way that they can find you and do that?
So, as I said, pop into the Aligned Marketing Hub for the Facebook group to learn some more. I'm always happy for people to pop into my DMs and have a little bit of a conversation. And I also offer a complimentary call where we can really discuss where you are in your business, and you can get a few takeaways on how you can move forward with it. And where relevant or appropriate, we can talk about how I can support you in growing your business in an aligned, beautiful, and effective way.
That's terrific. I do find you so approachable, Lily, and I think people would be very remiss to at least not book that free call with you. That would be great. I sort of think, you know, we need all the help we can get, especially if you're out there in the audience and you're brand new into business. Like Lily was saying, getting those fundamentals right. I talk about foundations for business. You know, getting those things in place, because it's going to not only shorten the journey to success, but you're going to have a lot more fun getting there. Trust me. You're going to, you know, maneuver around the obvious, you know, not so obvious potholes.
Yes.
Many of us fall down.
Yep.
That's terrific. Okay. Thank you so much, Lily, for your time today. I really appreciate it. So my guest today, thank you. It's Lily Rudolph from Align Marketing. Definitely go and check it out. I will put more links in the show notes. And this has been another Conversations with Kylie. Stay tuned, because you know that I will have another amazing guest next month. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Lily.